Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Late Night Ruckus, and I'm really excited for my guest today. I've got Coach Adam Wollman, and he helps guys change their lives and lose their dad bod. Adam, how are you doing today?
Man, best day of my life. How you doing?
It's a good day. It's a good day. It's nice out, and New York City is great, so can't complain. I'm getting ready for a move I'm in the financial district now, so I'm moving to the Upper West Side. So that will be a little hectic, but I still got a month, going on vacation. So it's a good day. Yeah, so I'm really excited to have you. And I know you're a big UFC guy, and it's been a long time since you connected. So before we get into it, I got to ask, what do you think of that Edwards Guzman fight? That was
That was insane. I think just like everyone else, it definitely caught me off guard. I lost a few bets. Um, and yeah, it was insane. I think if anyone bet on Edwards winning by KO, they probably have a lot of money right now.
yeah, and I think it's a kind of a metaphor and kind of like your theme of like where you're getting like people were counting Edwards out. I mean, he was done, and Usman could just coast. And yes, Edwards is a amazing striker, and there's always that factor. But people just like he's done, and then out of nowhere, boom, and it was over. And Usman could have coasted. He was killing. He won every round except maybe the first, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll be honest, I definitely counted him out, man. I did not. I thought Usman, was 4-1 in the rounds, and last minute he pulled it off. So
Yeah.
uh,
So the last time I feel like we've connected, I know you've chilled with my brother recently, but it was I think Lawrence Country Club, right? Do you remember those days?
yeah, the 2014, 2014, I think 2015 maybe.
I think so. Yeah. So so how did you get to where you are now? You have this great, like, you're in the fitness industry, you have this, you're your own boss, you've got this great program going on. How did you get from Lawrence Country Club to, where you are now and got this great business?
Yeah, definitely, man. So obviously, back then in high school, you kind of just do whatever job will pay you, right? You just kind of take whatever.
Yeah.
Um, but it was always what I wanted to do. You know, I was never interested in too many other things besides fitness, and I knew I always wanted to do fitness. I just wasn't sure what I wanted to do with it because personal training could be tough sometimes. You know, the hours are crazy. So honestly, the biggest thing that kind of held me back from starting was just my lack of confidence, lack of belief in myself. And, so I did jobs, just again, whatever job would pay me, I kind of took. And it got to the point where I just said enough is enough. I want to, finally do what I've always wanted to do. And yeah, I just always love fitness. So I took my personal trainer test and I started working in the gym.
Oh, so before you start working, were you always working out? When did you start lifting?
So when I was like 12 years old, I always want to get that six pack. I feel like back then I was like, I need a six pack. I'm going to get all the girls once I get a six pack. So I did sit ups and push ups, and I was doing like 200 sit ups and 100 push ups, when I was like 12 in my room every day. And then when I was like 13, I started working out with my older brother who showed me a few things. And when I was 14, I got my first gym membership, and that's when it really began. That's when I fell in love with it. And yeah.
How was there a lot of trial and error, or did you start putting on muscle right away? How did it all flow?
One mistake I made was doing the push-ups and sit-ups every day because you need to let your muscles recover. And that's what I didn't do. And that's what a lot of people make the same mistake of. So, I saw results because anytime you start fresh, you're going to see results.
Mm-hmm.
But could I have done a better job? 100%. But I saw results, but it was, people noticed, but it wasn't like, it only took me so far. After a few months, it was like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. And for about, honestly, till I was so from the time I was like 14, got my first gym membership, to the time I was like 16, I really had no idea what I was doing. And it was like one little step at a time from like, a piece of advice from one person or another person, and doing my own research for years and years, like watching videos and studying and just learning all different things about the body, about building muscle, losing fat. And I just kind of got obsessed with it, man.
I think a lot of people, and it not just weightlifting, but it's a lot of everything. And yes, you make those like beginner gains very quickly, right? Like it's almost like unnatural, right? And then you eventually plateau. But I think a lot of people don't push themselves, I guess, to like, they don't see results right away and then they just stop. But I think if you show up, like you're saying, like every day and just show up, even if you're doing it wrong, and then you start trial and error and just you stick with it long enough, you're gonna get better, whatever it is.
Yeah. And, talking to so many people on social media, I'm talking to maybe hundreds of people a day. I hear it all the time. I gave up because I didn't see results. I
Wow.
going hard for a few weeks and I wasn't seeing results and I just gave up. And I see so many people doing that same thing. And that's why I try to put out a lot of content towards that, to not give up and keep going. Because when you give up, that's when you're so close to seeing some type of progress.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, and you're putting out content, and I think if you're really putting yourself out there, I know you're talking about insecurities such as height or not seeing results or having a stomach, like being able to shed that. Like, what have you felt like kind of like not nervous, like putting yourself out there, or you feel like no, this can make an impact and this can help and reach people?
Honestly, at this point, it's kind of like I'm used to it. But even now, when I put out some pieces of content, it's like I'm like a little scared, I'm like, David, do I even want to put this out? But when I first started, almost 2 years ago now, when I started becoming online and making that presence, it was definitely scary. Almost everything I put out, I was super scared of, especially talking about, as you said, you know, all those insecurities. It's like you're putting yourself out there for thousands of people. So, yeah, it definitely wasn't easy. Now it's easier, but it definitely was not easy. But as you said, it's all about making an impact. If my story could help one person make a change, it's worth it.
Do you feel like it's when you put something out there and the things that you're most insecure about putting out there, do you feel like those are the ones that make the biggest impact? Like, do you have people hitting you up after like, well, I feel the exact same way. Like, how can I get started? Or wow, your perspective has really helped me.
Yeah, 100%. And I don't want people to think I put it out there just to get likes because it's obviously not the case.
Mm-hmm.
But that's when my content does do the best, when I'm the most honest, when I'm the most vulnerable with it, and I just tell people what I really went through, how I felt. And that's when, as you said, people will hit me up, let's say commenting or just message me like, wow, like your post got me going. And 3 months later, I made a change in my life.
Yeah. Wow. So what is your, so you put yourself out, you like to help guys lose a dad bod who, and don't have enough time. So what is do you have a target demographic, or do you help everybody reaching out to that specific segment of the population? Yeah. So like, what is your approach?
Yeah, so uh, I work with anyone who's serious. So if someone reaches out to me, they're serious about making a change, I'm not going to waste my time with their time,
Mm-hmm.
and they really want to make a change. I'm more than happy to help you.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't like when people reach out to me and are not serious, because I'm here trying to change lives, and there's only so much time, as you know. So, and in terms of who I target, I definitely put out content towards busy guys. It's just who I enjoy writing content to.
Mm-hmm.
Again, like starting myself, the way I felt. And I know there's so many guys I talk to that are in their 20s and 30s and older that felt that way for so long, but they're insecure and just not happy.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing makes me happy than being able to help them change their entire life around and go from someone who's insecure to, having enough confidence to take the shirt off or go for an extra job promotion or something like that.
Mm-hmm. I kind of noticed with some people out there, Jordan Peterson and now Andrew Tate, I don't know too much about him and his perspective, but people who target helping men improve, kind of there's been a backlash, whether it's irrational, I don't know, but have you experienced that, just putting out content like targeting the dad bod, targeting guys who
Yeah, yeah,
make time? Really?
yeah, definitely. So if we're just talking about specifically about putting that out, I'll just get tons of hate and backlash on my Facebook heroes because that gave me most exposure. But if
Mm-hmm.
we're talking specifically just about the dad bod, yeah, every once in a while I'll get a comment or a message like, people's going up on me like you're an asshole. You're not helping the stigma, but it's like I'm trying to show the stigma that it's time to take care of yourself and be healthier.
Yeah.
So, as you said, man, whenever you're doing something right, you're always gonna have people hating on you. So it's okay.
Exactly. So what do you tell people who are like, I really, really want to do this, but I'm working with, 60 hours a week. I don't have control over my schedule. What do you tell them to make time, like develop a routine, or like, what do you say? How do you work with someone who comes to you and says, hey, I want to do this. I love what you're putting out there. I want to follow what you're doing. How can I make the time?
Yeah, definitely. So one thing I'm big on is you have to make it work for you. You can't do what someone else does if you're that busy guy. So first it starts by looking at the schedule, like, okay, what's your work schedule? Like, is it changing? Is it just long hours? Like, what are you doing in your personal life? And then from there, it really comes down to, okay, if you have 15 minutes, it's better than no time. Is it the most optimal? Probably not, but it's still better than nothing too. Just make sure you're healthy and you avoid health conditions and around for a long time. So it goes from looking at their schedule, what makes sense for them, and what are they going to be able to stick to? Because if they have 1 week where they could do maybe like in 45 minutes instead of 15 minutes, but they can't do it the next week, that doesn't help. It's enough to stick to. So it's all about being realistic. What could they stick to? And what's going to be the most customized plan for them to set them up for success, because we could give them a plan for success, but if they can't follow it, what's the point?
Exactly. Okay, cool. So now I'm interested, how important, and I think I know the answer to this already, but how important is diet? Someone who's going to the gym and they're like, I'm progressively overloading I'm doing high weight, low reps. I'm improving, I'm going up in weight, but I'm getting muscle, but I'm not getting the physique I want. So what do you say to them? Or like, what's your first question? Basically, I feel like I know where this is going.
That was my issue for years, because I studied so much about exercising, but I didn't know anything about diet. So I made every mistake in the book when it comes to exercise, but no diet. Now, yes, diet is super important. And technically, if you want to look at it, you could say it's 70 or 80% of losing that fat and gaining muscle. Because obviously you got to feel your body. But at the same time, I look at it like it's just as important as exercise and diet. Like they both go hand in hand. So it is super important, and you do need to optimize it. But again, too many people take that as like, I don't have to pay as much attention to exercise.
So they go hand in hand, and one shouldn't be ignored for the other.
Yeah.
I've noticed people, though, me included, they have great work ethics, time allowing, I'm in the gym, I'm throwing up weight, but then it's just diet. It's like you get like some sugar cravings, and then boom, you're back. You're back, kind of like setting you back, not in a physical exercise sense, but definitely in a health sense. Do you have any tips for those? Like, how do you stay focused? Is it just keep working out and seeing results, and that will guide you, or just discipline?
You're saying with like diet or just
Yeah. So like you fall, like, how do you so you said exercise feeds off each other. So it feeds off the diet. Like, how do you stay consistent? Is it just pure discipline, or is it kind of, oh, you see results and then okay, now I'm getting some positive feedback. Now I can stick to it more. Like, what is the best approach to keep consistency, at least on the diet end?
Yeah, so kind of like what you asked me about, if you're super busy and you need to make a good workout schedule, the same thing applies. What has to work for you. What I do may not work for you. What you do may not work for someone else. So it's all about finding what you enjoy and what you could stick to. That's really what it comes down to. Because way too many people only think about now, the next 2 weeks, the next 2 months. They don't think about the next 2 years, the next 20 years. And it's all about longevity. So it's all about finding that balance. Yes, it is discipline, but it's all about having a plan that sets you up for success, one that is going to get the results, but you could still enjoy yourself. And that's what we do with my clients. We make sure they can enjoy themselves, but still see results.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. I noticed that like a lot of people, diets fail because they're not sustainable. I mean, if you're going into it, I feel like, where you're going to set yourself up for life, and this is something you could follow for your life, then you're going to be a lot more successful than something like, I can only do this for 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the issue with all these like diets that people do. Or like people, I see it all the time, especially when I was working full time in the gym. People will go 200% in, gym 7 days a week. They change their entire diet. They eat, chicken and rice nonstop. And then 2 weeks later, a month later, what happens? They're back to doing what they were doing before, going to the gym once a week or not going to the gym at all, or eating, McDonald's and all like that, all the fast food and stuff.
Yeah, I that's why I'm happy, because I'm starting, when I get back from vacation, I'm starting jujitsu, and I'm gonna do it 2 times a week. And like, I'm glad I'm signing up for 2 times versus unlimited, because my schedule is so hectic. But it's like, at least I'm starting where, like, if I was doing it 5-6 days, I feel like I would crash in like 2 weeks and then never want to do it again. But I'm glad I'm having something where, okay, I can start low level and work my way up, but it's something that's like I can manage it. So I probably won't. I'll stick with it much longer. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah, that's what happened to me. I did MMA classes. It was like a mix of all different, not just, it was like a little boxing, a little jiu-jitsu, karate, a little bit of everything. And I was going 4 days a week. I had a little more time. This was over a year ago. I got busier, went 3 days, 2 days, 2 to 3 days, 2 days, 1 day. So that's kind of what happened with me, man. So it's definitely the best way to go.
Oh, wow. But it was probably when you were doing it, it's probably really rewarding though, right? Because I've done a few trial classes. I've been excited.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was just, with everything else I'm doing, it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
put a pause in it for now. With everything else.
No, I know. And you work as I see the content you put out. You work as hard as anybody I know.
No, I appreciate that.
So let me ask you something. So do you have a lot of clients that come to you that say, I want to get in shape. I've been hitting the treadmill. It's not working. Or why can't I just run and lose weight? I mean, like, do you have people who just, they come in and then you kind of shock their whole worldview about getting healthy where your approach is not, your first goal should be building muscle, and cardio is, it's a muscle like anything else. You want to improve your heart, but that's not the way. Like, do you find people who just kind of just shocked by that notion?
Yeah, all the time. And I'll be honest with you, man. I had people that just didn't trust me or believe me. They didn't want to listen. So they lasted maybe 2 to 4 weeks with me. And then I said, obviously this isn't working out, but you're either going to trust me or not. So yeah, it definitely happens all the time. And some people, again, I changed their life. And I'm not saying that to make me look good, but like I changed their life completely because I showed them, okay, this is how we're going to do it. This is how we're going to eat. This is how we're going to exercise. And this is why it's going to work. And then a few weeks later, they see results and they keep it going. And then some people just don't want to believe it. Maybe they're just not ready for a change. Maybe, I don't know. But that's why it's kind of like I'm very picky with who I work with nowadays. Because again, I don't want to waste your time or my time.
Well, I see that I see what you're posting. Your clients are getting amazing results. So these are obviously people who really want to change, and they're committed and dedicated group of people. So that's amazing. Also, I'll ask you, yeah. So you could also get cardio benefits though, right? From weightlifting, like on drop sets and things like that, when you elevate your heart rate, or doing what was it? No rest breaks, drop sets, right?
Yeah. So it definitely will, but again, it only gets you so far. Right? Because eventually you're going to be going to the gym long enough. And, obviously if you're going like fast pace or like you're doing a lot of volume, it won't be the most beneficial for muscle growth. It'll be more like a fat loss type workout. Well, it's like you build the muscle, but it's more like circuit style and fast, or like drop sets. You said, drop sets will, but it depends how you do them. That's what it comes down to. So it definitely will help with the cardio at first. But again, if you've been going to the gym for like 6, 12 months, you're probably not going to get as tired as you used to. So you might want to make sure you do some cardio.
And what about like circuit splits, things like that? That help too. Get the cardio.
100%. That'll definitely get your heart rate up. And if you're someone who you don't care about maybe building the most muscle, you just want to be in shape, be healthy, and kind of get some fat off at the same time, you do circuits. It's a good way to go. That's why a lot of people like classes, like group classes, because it's usually fast paced and just nonstop.
Let me ask you this: now a lot of building muscle is genetic, even people say, oh, this person's on steroids. Like, yeah, maybe, but like, they're still genetic freaks. Like, you could do the same whatever cycle and not end up like that. Like, so genetically speaking, how much can anybody build muscle though? I think that's like people are like anybody, if they put the work in to build muscle, right? Like, even if it's not everybody has the same genetic limit.
Yeah, 100%. I like to think myself, I don't have good genetics at all. Just from years of dedication in the gym and nutrition. So yeah, anyone could build muscle. It's really just dedication and how bad do you want it? What are you going for? And putting the time in, because people think it's going to be fast. It takes time, it takes years.
Oh yeah, it's really just dedication. Like I've seen videos of people just like, I'm not like put photos like I'm not genetically gifted, and then they're hitting the gym and just hitting, the core, like the deadlift, the bench press, and they're just really watching their diet. And after like 3, 4, 5 years, they're exploding. And you could look at their frame and they don't have the best build, and it's just dedication. And I wanted to ask you now from a business perspective, how did you get this for people who want to take that leap in whatever it is? It could be law, it could be music, it could be whatever. There is that fear of just doing it, going out on your own. Like, how did you realize now's the time to take that leap? And like, how did you deal with like financial uncertainty or fears of, am I going to be able to get clients? Am I going to be able to support like, how did you take that leap?
Yeah, so honestly, I wish I could say I just did it one day, but the pandemic kind of forced me to, like most other people in the fitness industry. Well, I was working in the gym. I was the top trainer in the gym. Well, that's kind of how I got the confidence, because I said I was always scared to do it. And once I did it, within 6 months, I was very good at it. Well, I had 40 clients. You know, I was one of the top trainers for the company I worked for. And that kind of gave me the confidence where I was like, okay, maybe I could do this on my own. But I never took that jump until the pandemic happened. And that's kind of when I saw more success, and I just kept it going, you know, to the point where I said, okay, maybe I don't need the gym anymore. And I just kept going with it. So I guess kind of getting back to getting that confidence, you don't really know, you know, you don't know. Like you have to know yourself. Are you the type of person to give up, or are you the type of person to keep going? Because there were days where it was tough, you know, I didn't want to keep going. I didn't feel like doing anything. I didn't feel like, you know, getting everything done. But I knew what I want. I know what I want. So I just never stopped.
So there were there ever days you asked yourself, can I really do this? Like, do I have this in me? Like, did you ever doubt yourself, or you're just like, I got 40, I know I'm good at this. I'm gonna rock with it.
There was definitely days like that where I said I want to give up. I'm like, you know, it's not going good. And as you said, where it's like, can I do this? But it's like at the same time, deep down, I know I could. It was just showing myself I could. And it was just applying myself to like, okay, what am I doing now? What do I have to fix? And and like at the end of the day, I knew what I wanted. Like I love fitness and I love being able to help people. So it's like I was gonna get that success no matter what. It's just a matter of time. You know, it's either next week or next year.
I think people who have that inner discipline, like you had, was self-evident just with hitting the gym all the time. Like you were able to, all right, I'm consistent with this, even before you had a business, right? Now and then you could just take that and then apply it as a life lesson to anything. And you were disciplined now with growing your business. I mean, we cancel a few times because you're constantly putting out content and working on being the best version of yourself and growing your business. So that's amazing. Yeah. So what was I wanted to say, what is it like to get like on a day where you wake up and you don't feel like lifting? Like, and I feel like everybody's has it. I'm sure if you even had it, like, how do you get, because that's one thing I'm working on, I'm exhausted. How do you get to the point where it's like, all right, I'm not feeling it. Might not even feel well. How am I getting myself to the gym? Like, what is your approach? I'm fascinated by that.
So the quick and fast, easy answer, and I kind of like say like the fast answer is like, I just do it, you know?
Yeah.
But of course, it's kind of go deeper. It's like, I've been doing it long enough where I've skipped the gym and I've gave into that and I didn't feel good. I felt, you know, like I let myself down. So whenever I don't feel like doing it now, I think about that same feeling. I felt like I'm letting myself down. And then I also look at, okay, well, here's where I am now. Here's where I want to get to. Is skipping the gym going to help me or not?
Yeah.
And I think about how, you know, how like you always feel better after you had worked out. Like sometimes it's just getting to the gym, as you said.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, so I know you had one video you were reading about like the hate you're getting. So like, does that ever get to you? You kind of just use it as motivation or laugh, or do you have any funny ones you want to feel comfortable sharing or anything like that?
Yeah, man, that at first it used to drive me crazy, I'll be honest.
Really?
Like I used to waste so much time just going over the comments, firing back. And like, I'll be honest, now I try not to even look at my comments because it's a waste of time. You know, that time where I spent reading the comments and seeing what people say, I could spend changing someone's life. You know, I could spend talking about a message I get from someone thanking me how much it helps them. So, you know, I get comments all the time, like people telling me like, why you posting videos, like you don't even work out, you don't even look good. And that kind of goes back to what you were saying before about natural and unnatural, because I'm all natural. So people look at me, they're like, this guy does, you know, it doesn't look that good. Why is he posting videos? But it's like, I know with my stats that I'm not being, you know, too cocky, but I know I'm very good where I am in terms of my strength, you know, my weight, for my size and all that. So people always tell me like, oh, and I've gotten essays, people writing me essays about like why I should get off the internet and stop posting videos and why, you know, I'm a piece of shit and all that. And, you know, again, it's all worth it when I get that one message or that one comment, like, thank you so much for helping me. Like your videos changed my life. So yeah, man, I spend so much time firing back. And then I started doing, for more content, hate comments, as you said. Where I started taking the comments like, I'm making fun of them. I was like, let me see how it goes. And those videos did good. So I did like 10 parts and then it kind of got old.
Mm.
So then I kind of stopped with it, but it was good content. So, you know,
Do you have a YouTube channel? Like, where's a lot of your main content going out towards?
uh,
TikTok or Instagram or?
yeah, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok right now. Eventually I might expand. I tried to get in like Twitter and was Pinterest I tried to get on,
Mhm.
but I've just been, I focus more on like the platforms that help me the most, which is,
Mhm.
Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
Wow. Yeah, I know. Like when what you're saying, like that one comment that really shined through. Like, because when I was like, I do this podcast as a hobby. Me and my friend were talking about like launching one. I've had him on a few times. His focus is fitness. He used to be a personal trainer, and now he wants to go towards like the health route, the healthcare route. And we were talking. He's like, as long as like it's like, man, no one's gonna listen to it. You do it for fun. You do it for yourself. But like at the end of the day, if it could help one person, it's probably worth just putting it out there. And so, and then really one of the other questions I wanted to ask is like, what are your thoughts on the fitness industry today from a social media perspective? Because I feel like watching a lot of videos, like for example, you'll see something like I'll work out at the worst rated gym, and then I'll work out at the best rated gym, and they'll do like a side by side comparison, and it's like that's fine, but like, why are you shooting on the worst rated gym when it doesn't matter? You could go to the nicest gym, and if you're not committed, you're not going to make any gains, and you put yourself out there, and you're at the gym that just whatever you have to wait, and but you're to deadlift, but you're gonna wait, and you're gonna make sure you get all your sets in and everything you want to do. You're gonna get gains. Like I don't understand it. Like, and then you have people promoting this kind of unhealthy lifestyle and then claiming that they're healthy just because they look like an unattainable standard. Like, what are your thoughts on the fitness industry today, at least through social media?
I feel like it's so easy to look at it from the outside until you're actually in it. Because for example, like all these people, as you said, that have these unattainable physiques that are unnatural, right? When I was younger, I thought it was all natural. I didn't know that you couldn't get like that.
Mhm.
So I think so many people would be surprised when they think that's natural isn't.
Mhm.
They'd definitely be shocked because most people don't understand that it's not possible. Yes, you do have genetic freaks, like you said, but think about the amount of people posting. Not all of them have these crazy genetics.
Mhm.
A lot of these people, as you said, are natural, and the human body could only go so far. People don't really understand that. So,
Mhm.
like some guy with huge shoulders, you kind of tell by the way shoulders form. For example, that's not natural. The shoulder doesn't naturally form that way. A lot of these muscles don't naturally form that way.
Mhm.
So, kind of getting, I know I'm getting off topic here, but kind of going back to
Ah.
the question here, the fitness industry, again, there's a lot of stuff I don't like that people put out, like do like try this, there's a lot of people that do the powders, like they promote, oh, drink 2 shakes a day and you lose 50 pounds. Like I hate that because so many things are unhealthy and it promotes unhealthiness. You're not going to be healthy by only drinking 2 shakes a day.
Mhm. That's why I kind
So,
of respect. Oh, sorry, I didn't want to cut you
good.
off.
I guess that's all over the place, like I think there's so many views you can kind of look at it because people tell me, like people come at me all the time, they don't like what I'm doing. So, it's kind of like you put out what you want to put out, and people are always going to have opinions on it.
Yeah, no, I had to respect people, like Larry Wheels or Rich Piana. Like they were like, obviously my physique's unattainable because I'm unnatural. So people know going into it, and they even explain like I regret not, reaching my peak beforehand, and then after reaching that genetic limit, but then you have these people who just like they don't see gains in front, and then they just do stuff that's just, they don't have that guidance, and they jump on stuff that's just not. It's like you didn't even try to reach your genetic peak and see what you're naturally capable of. And I just think it's just setting people up for such an. We're seeing like in the fitness industry, people, dying and having heart issues because people don't realize that your heart is a muscle or your organs are grow, get affected by it like just like your biceps. So I don't, it's crazy.
Yeah, especially on top of that, like those are guys with all muscle. But what it kind of should show the people who, I don't want to sound, harsh here, but what about people who walk around and have 300 pounds of fat?
Mm-hmm.
Same way they're dying. I mean, obviously they're dying from the stuff they're taking, but they're also dying because
Mm-hmm.
your body, your organs can't take all that weight. Whether
Mm-hmm.
it's fat or muscle, your body can't hold all that.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of as you said, it's messed up for the kids, for like the 18-year-old, 17-year-old, 19-year-old kid that doesn't know what they're doing and they just want to look like something else. They don't know what they're doing. They're how they're going to mess themselves up. They take something, they don't know what they're doing, and then dealing with it 5 years later, 25, and they're on testosterone, you know?
Or TRT. And what's really interesting that you mentioned is right, that then on the other end we see people promoting unhealthy lifestyles, and it's one thing, people have their struggles and their afflictions, and everybody's genetics are different. That's fine, but this idea of promoting it as unhealthy lifestyle as healthy is just that drives me crazy too. I'm sure as a personal trainer drives you crazy. Have you ever got like that kind of body shaming kind of hate or attacks?
Body shame is people just coming at my body.
No, like you're body shaming people, like, no, there's no reason to get in shape kind of thing.
Look, you said, have I done that?
No. Have people come at you with hate? Like you're putting out, I think you mentioned it earlier, like you put out content about, changing people's lives, getting six packs or shedding the dead bod. People come at you like, oh, why are you promoting unhealthy, like losing weight, or, all weights and BMI should be accepted kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. For me, it hasn't been too often. As I said, every once in a while I get someone like comment on a video like, what's with all the dad bod content? Why are you doing this? But it's like, I'll be honest, I think it's more females that I see with like, I know a lot of male coaches that target females. That's just what they work with, and they've gotten a pretty bad backlash from it.
Wow. I'm really curious because you're a really busy guy. Like what is like the day in the life of Coach Adam Wollman? Like how's your day structured, like with lifting and content? I'm just curious, like walk me through quickly, like what a day is like for you.
Yeah, so since I work for myself, obviously I get to wake up whatever time I want, so that's one good thing. But I actually wake up a lot earlier than I ever thought I would. I get up at like 6:30 usually, Monday through Friday.
Wow.
Because I give myself like 30 to 60 minutes just to myself. So like affirmations, meditation, kind of just get ready to approach the day, to deal with whatever might come with me, whether it's a hate comment, issues with clients, just anything like that. Got to get mentally prepared so I could stay on top of everything. So I have like a 30 to 60-minute morning routine I do. And then on like 7:30, 7:15, I get on my phone. And that's when I start working. And that's when I'll do messages, I post content, kind of anything like that, that kind of goes with like putting out content out there. Maybe I make content, I film content. From there, I have breakfast, go back to work, do some more messages, answer messages. And then from there, I hit the gym, which I still love, but it's definitely not the same because now I have to worry about film content. Especially for me, my best content is usually the gym content. So I always have to get fresh videos, which, sometimes you don't always want to take videos. You want to just work out and have the music on and enjoy yourself, But yeah, go to the gym for about an hour or so.
So when you go to the gym, this is not working with clients. Like you're going to the gym first. Like when you first go to the gym, when you first start and during the day, the first gym sessions for yourself.
Yeah, especially now I don't really see clients in person anymore.
Oh, wow.
It's more I was doing both, but I kind of had to take a step back from in person and just focus online because that's kind of where my business was going.
So sorry, I want to get back to this, but so are you seeing clients from now all over, like instead of just your geographic area, now that you have online, your reach is like hitting people, for example, in California or in Europe or have you seen it growing that way?
Yeah, definitely. So what I don't do sessions, I do programs. I make customized programs, and then it's accountability and just making sure that my clients do what they need to do to get what they invested in. But yeah, I've been blessed where I've had the pleasure of working with clients in all over the world, Canada, UK, Ireland, just all different types of places, and all over the US as well. So.
Wow.
As you said, I have clients in California, I have clients all around the States as well. Yeah, it's awesome. It's just cool being able to have someone across the world,
Yeah. So, okay. So you're hitting the gym, you're, recording content while you're lifting. So like, take me through it again. So what goes on after that?
Yeah. So hit the gym, usually go home, have lunch, unless I have to maybe go take care of something, whatever that might be. You
Mhm.
know, maybe go see family or something like that. I have the freedom. Well, I make my own schedule, as I said. So if I need to do something, I can just do it. I just have to move a few things around. So go home, film some more content. Then I usually start my client work, which is like, again, messages, building programs, meal plans, check-ins with them, talking to them, just making sure they're on point. And from there, it really goes from that to how long it might take me
Mhm.
back to, again, I always have to make sure I'm putting out content. So putting out more content, filming content. Um, Sundays is my main content creation day, which is where
Sundays.
I write all my content out. So I have it prepared. It helps me throughout the week. And I basically set myself up for the week. And yeah, and then, getting to answer messages, putting out content, and just making sure the business is growing. Because obviously, if you're not having clients come in, there's an issue.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to keep doing what I'm doing if I don't have clients coming in. So
Absolutely.
always making sure business is moving in the right direction. So between that, it's also on Facebook. And I have a Facebook group with over 600 men want to better themselves. So I check that. I post them there. I go live. I do 2 to 3 lives a day.
Oh, wow.
So, and then back to messaging. It's a lot of messages, believe it or not. Answering messages I get. So that's pretty much my day to sum it up. And then obviously occasionally, doesn't always happen, but I usually have a second workout where I'll go for my walk or I'll do cardio or something.
Mhm. Yeah. And, Coach Adam, thank you. Thank you for being on here. I found this conversation really, really enjoyable. I would want to say for people who want to reach out or follow your content or get involved or get started, where can they find you? Where can they reach you to learn more?
Yeah, definitely. So Facebook, it's my name, Adam Wollman. You can find me over there. And IG and TikTok is AWOL Muscle. So AWOL and the muscle after.
All right, cool. And I do want to say you're one of I've seen the content you put out. I've seen, how busy you are. I'm saying you're one of the hardest working guys in the industry. And not only that, if you're working with Coach Adam, you're getting someone who could empathize because he's probably, more times than not been where you are, starting where you are, feeling the same, had felt the same doubts and insecurities or the same, lack of, I don't want to do this today, and then pushing himself. So he knows exactly what you're going through. So yeah, Adam, thank you. Thank you so much for being on my podcast.
Yeah, of course, I appreciate you having me, man. This was a good time. We'll definitely have to do it again.
Oh, absolutely. I'm always, I had one of my good friends was on twice already, and he's very into the fitness industry too. So it's something about the fitness industry,
Yeah,
it comes back
it's
on.
always changing, man. Always changing. There's always new stuff out there.
Yeah, definitely. Adam, thank you so much for being on this podcast. And it's been great because I haven't seen you in years. I know Jeremy's gotten some lifts in with you, but
Yeah,
it's been a while.
yeah, man. Time goes fast, man. And as you said, it's hard finding time sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely good talking to you, man. It's been a long time.
Yeah, definitely. And if you ever want to get a lift in, I'm always down.
We'll set it up, man. We'll set it up.
Yeah. Adam, thank you for coming by on the podcast.
Appreciate you having me, bro.
Yeah, good.